Hello, Instagram. You are now live. It's 2:38 on Monday the 4th. Oh my God, did we luck out? We got a snow day today. So, how cool is that, man? Like, they were expecting a huge, nasty, nasty storm. And I know some places in Jersey, maybe further up north, did actually get hit. But in expecting a lot of snow, the mayor closed down and a bunch of schools shut down. We had a delayed opening. Didn't even bother sending my daughter to school. It's okay. The son stayed home. Let her stay home too and enjoy a day. Pajama day. For me, I got to go out and run a couple of errands and go see a doctor for my foot. But that's not why I'm here. That's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about sugar. So, last time when I was here, I was talking about why I do keto, why I think you should do keto, and today it's more about why you really need to give up sugar. Just altogether, just get rid of it, man. Since last January, I've been working on doing keto. And I say working on doing keto because, it's definitely a work in progress. Most days are good. Some days not as good as I'd like. And along the way, I've taken a little detours and, one little thing, this, that. And I've put a couple of pounds back on, but then, it came right back off. So it's not about I'm on a diet. And it's not about, I'm just doing this to lose weight. I'm not just doing this to lose weight. I'm going to pause talking for a minute. Hey, keto athlete, you okay? You are freaking awesome. I love your post on Instagram. We must cut sugar. Exclamation point. Yeah, post it. And then somehow I'm able to pin that or something. I don't know. How do I do that? Drop it down, lean on it. I don't know. If someone else posts or I have no idea. Maybe they changed it and that's why I have a title. So anyway, I babble. So yesterday I had some guests over and my guest who sees this when I post it later on YouTube or into Facebook, whatever, where she happens to see it, is going to say, oh, he's talking about me. Darn it. And somewhere along the way, she said to me, I hate when I talk to you, Russ, because I feel like I'm failing. I feel like I'm just not doing right. You're not going to be happy. And it's not about not being happy, man. I'm doing this for a year, and I'm by far not perfect. Absolutely not. In the beginning, I tracked, and I kept my carbs down to, on good days, I was well below 20. On some days I went as high as 40 or 50 grams, but what I noticed was I was maintaining nutritional ketosis, and that was pretty damn cool. As summer came along, I got a little looser and didn't track. After June, I just didn't track for a long time. I only just started tracking regularly again. I was sporadically tracking at the end of the summer, through the fall, and I just said, you know what? I really do want to trim some pounds off, and if I want to trim pounds off, then I really do need to track my macros. And, a lot of people say you don't need to, but, I don't look at keto as this low-carb, high-fat lifestyle as a diet, not in the traditional sense of the word. When everyone hears the word diet, they're thinking deprivation, hunger, and I eat like a fucking pig, man. Not every day, not every meal, but there are times, and I'll go to yesterday I had guests over, and I ate too much. I didn't gain weight. I didn't lose weight. I didn't feel sick because I didn't eat the wrong things. But by far, my behavior, my choices yesterday, and what I ate, how I ate, and how much I ate were not anything indicative of being on a diet. No, this was just, the things that I put in my body. And it was funny because along the way, we talk, and she's been asking me, for information and guidance, and what can I buy when I go to this store, what can I make, how can I do. And so her hubby does most of the cooking, and I talk to him a bunch about things to make, and he's pretty plugged in. Actually, I was surprised some of the resources that he pulled out were some of the ones that I was going to show him anyway, which is pretty damn awesome. So that all being said, we ordered Chinese food, and like the night before, I ordered Chinese food, and I ate it, and it didn't do me wrong. I felt like I was a little bit off, and, when I get something that does have the sauce on it, I'm like, you know what? I wonder how much sugar I'm really getting in there, because they're putting cornstarch in there. They're putting stuff. So last night, I decided to make a healthier choice. And instead of ordering my whatever I order normally, I ordered some steamed shrimp and broccoli. The sauce came on the side. I said, maybe I will. And in the end, I decided, let's not use their sauce on the side. And so I grabbed salt, pepper, and I did a little sesame oil. And it was great. And, maybe the worst part of my cheat yesterday was having some boneless ribs, which I'm sure those boneless ribs have a little bit of sugar. But for the amount of rib that I eat and how much sugar's in the whole dish, I'm pretty sure I didn't make a horrible dent, because in everything else that I ate, if it said like I had 40 some odd grams of carbs for the day, it had me at like 23 gram net carb, counting all the fiber and everything. And so I'm confident that I didn't go off the reservation. I just, I ate a little more than I should have, and, pork rinds, a little bit of salsa and guacamole, and, a piece of sopasata, some full-fat cheese, and, I drank Diet Pepsi all day long. My wife made sugar-free Jell-O shots, and I had one or two of those. And, I understand equally that, alcohol does not throw you out of ketosis per se as in eating sugar. It stalls and stops. Your body has to burn that off before you can get back in. If you're well fat adapted, if your body is fat adapted and you don't drink so much, you're not going to throw yourself off so much. And like I feel like today, I use my breath ketone analyzer. I use a Ketonics, and I still showed borderline ketosis. I'm still not hitting those higher numbers that I want to see on that meter. I'd like to get, I blew a 20 a couple of days in a row, and I was really happy with that, which meant, hey, I'm getting up there. If I see like a regular 30 one time in a day when I hit my peak measurement, that would be great. I like to come up in the green, which is 10 or above, and I know it's not major, and, they all say, don't chase ketones. Don't chase your ketone numbers, chase results. And how I've been eating for the last few days, couple of weeks actually, this is where I'm really starting to see the results, and I, broke a plateau that I was stuck on for a while. Talk about sneaking sugar, right around New Year's Eve day and New Year's Day, and I don't think I hit any bad food, but I definitely had some bad food those 2 days. I threw myself off. I paid for it, and I talked about that another time. And so now I'm just going to talk about, now here's where I am. I think I'm doing all right, and I think I'm following my plan, because I want to have a plan, and I don't want to fail. I want to keep going. I'm looking in the camera, and I see I need to shave, and the shave shows I still got that chin there that I want to get rid of, and I know that I could be a little thinner, but less than that. The non-scale victories of the energy I have, the better skin that I have, the better sleep that I get, the clothes that are fitting me better, even though if the scale isn't moving, I know that I'm doing something right. Running into people that I haven't seen for a while, and they're like, oh my God, Russ, what are you doing? You look great. And, I know that's me losing visceral fat. It doesn't necessarily take off the subcutaneous fat. The fat that you see on the outside is not aesthetically pleasing necessarily, but I could see in the mirror how things fit me differently. I could see in the mirror how I'm starting to see a little more musculature, even though I'm not, Mr. Shredded. And that's my dream, get up on stage and pose and, let's go NPC. And who knows, maybe by my mid-50s I can get my pro card and go compete in an Arnold Classic. That'd be pretty damn cool. That is a goal of mine, just to get on stage and do it. But getting back to sugar. So my dear friend, as we were talking about, I showed her my Fitness Pal. I use an app called Lose It. I know there's some keto-specific food trackers as well. I'm not familiar with them because I haven't used them because I got the other one that I have. And that being the case, I gave her my Fitness Pal because I think it's convenient. It plugs in with a lot of other apps and it's user-friendly. So, hey, Samoyo, I'm just kind of wrapping up. I want to talk about sugar. The whole point of she was tracking and she started writing down, what she had in the morning, and it was a pretty good breakfast. And I was like, that's cool. That's awesome. She had fat-free half and half. And I just kind of shook my head and I said, what's the purpose of having half and half if it's fat-free? Basically, what you're having is fat-free, thicker milk. And I looked at the macros on it when she entered it in to the tracker, and it's all sugar. And again, might as well drink milk. Go full fat, less sugar in there then. Sugar gives it flavor as well. And so, I use heavy cream. If it's regular half and half is better than anything fat-free, better than using milk for sure. Not as good as using light cream or heavy cream. And I go for heavy cream because heavy cream is straight up. It's all fat, no carb. I handle it well. I don't have any issues with it. So, that's what I use. And I said that to her. I said, if you're going to use it, you might as well use something better than substituting. I guess it's better than nothing at all. However, and, you start looking at where the sugars are coming in. And when you start tracking, if you want to make any serious changes in your life, you need to start writing down what's going on. Writing down, you want to save money? Write down where you spend your money. Write down how much money you're getting. And you could really see, where can I cut? Where do I not need to spend this money or that money? So now we're talking about food. And it's not about calories in, calories out. Don't get me wrong. Calories do play a part. And if you're constantly in a calorie surplus, always, I apologize if my network is not strong. Sometimes I don't get the best signal out there, but when I put it back up on YouTube, it will be on YouTube on Low Carb New Yorker. You can watch it again or, reach out to me, message or whatever. I'm just babbling along. This is a new Russ rant. Jimmy does his Jimmy rants. Now Russ is doing Russ rants because I like it. And so talking about the sugar, she was tracking everything. And we got down to dinner and I was like, okay, what'd you have? And she said, I had some wonton soup. And I was like, you mean you drank the broth, right? And she said, no, I had wontons. I snuck a wonton or two. And I was like, oh, why would you do that? And, I can't say I haven't in the past over the course of the year and change that I've been doing this. But in the times that I have, I grabbed a bite of wonton from my son's soup and I'm like, it really tastes like crap. It's not satisfying. It doesn't grant me pleasure and go, ooh, wow, oh my God, it's so good. No, it's not what I'm doing, man, because I don't like it. Bread is something not that I'm missing. I like the idea of bread, and I've made some keto bread along the way and, made sandwiches and stuff. But, I don't crave bread every day. I'm not craving pasta. I like the idea of pasta again, and so what I grabbed was Miracle Noodle, or from Walmart, they sell a brand called Nasoya, which is shirataki noodles, and it's made from konjac, and there's zero carb. Some of the trackers actually count it as a negative carbohydrate count, net carb count, for whatever reason. There you go. That's the story on that. So anyway, we added up everything that she ate, and she started looking at things and going, wow, when you sit down and look at it, the protein, not hard to hit your protein goals. For the fat, if you go lower than your fat macro goal, it's not the end of the world, because ultimately we want to be at a slight calorie deficit. And if we're taking in less fat, the body is more apt to burn your own fat in its body, and that's really what you want. That's the whole story on, so tracking is what's important, and getting rid of the sugar, saying you're getting rid of the sugar, but then eating things that have sugar, eating things that metabolize into sugar, kind of defeats the purpose. Now, it's definitely, you want to do baby steps. You don't want to just rip everything out of your life, and if that's not who you are, ease into it. I definitely, from December of 2017 through January of 2018, I eased into it. I removed certain things, and then finally somewhere on, I'm going to say January 18th of 2018, I said, enough already. I'm going to do, and I was using Shailene Johnson's 131 diet, and curiously, the first phase of her 131 diet is called Ignite. And as I'm reading more about Ignite, I'm like, wait a minute, I did Atkins way back when. This is induction, Ignite, get the fat burning in your body. And then I started reading more about nutritional ketosis and the whole idea of how you can maintain nutritional ketosis. There's no reason whatsoever why you can't eat this way long term. Even if you're not in nutritional ketosis 100% of the time, if you're fat adapted by keeping it low carb, high fat, your body is fat adapted. You're not a sugar burner. Your blood sugar maintains a more steady level. It brings the blood sugar number down. And in the long term, that's really what this is all about, is longevity, long-term health, and feeling better, doing better, lasting longer. I want to do this because I have young children. My kids are 4.5 and 6.5, and I'd like to be here in 20 or 30 years. I'm going to be 49, 20 or 30 years, so 69, 79. I'd like to make it well into my 80s and be there and be a grandpa and, be there for my kids, walk my daughter down the aisle, be there for my son too when he gets married and, he has kids. I want to be there like that, and I don't want to be a burden on my family. I want to be the one who carries them along until they get to a point that when I am that old, and perhaps then I can no longer take care of myself. And when I say that, I mean, I'm not working anymore, and, someone I'll be the grandpa who lives in my son or daughter's house and watches the kids, or, comes over and takes care of the kids while they're out at work. That's something nice to do. That's something I look forward to doing. And that's really where I'm in my late 40s, and I said, I want to be healthy. I want to last long, and it boils down to the sugar. So my last post in my feed was about 65. I don't remember the exact number, but there's a ridiculous number of names of sugar. And if you're not familiar with them, you may think some of them are better. Oh, it's not sugar, so this is better. So if I use apple juice concentrate instead of, then, it all boils down to, if you're putting sugar in your body, it's not good for you. And that's what I'm avoiding. And everyone says that fat is the enemy, and that is the big fattest lie out there. Lipidology, the science of lipids in the blood, and understanding HDL, LDL, cholesterol is a full number, and then the many different ratios, proportions of these numbers, comparing them one to the other, or, taking numbers and, counting particle number and particle size. There's so much more to it than what we've been told. There's so much more to it than what most doctors are aware of. And we need to learn. We need to be our own advocate. We need to go out and get the information. We need to be able to look at a label and go, oh no, this is garbage. I don't want to eat this crap. We need to be able to talk to the doctor, ask questions, and when they tell us something that we don't believe, we should be able to turn around and go, why not? I'm not going to do that, doc, because, you want to put me on a statin, but the numbers that you're looking at mean nothing. The new science says ABCD, and all of a sudden they're like, I have a doctor who's willing to oblige me on it, but I'm not happy because my doctor hasn't gone out and learned this stuff with me. I asked him, hey, did you read that book I got for you? Did you read that article I sent you? He's like, no, I didn't. I gave it to my son. His son's in med school. So his son will be a great doctor, knowledgeable on the newer, up-to-date science. And my doctor, I'm looking for a new doctor. So I like him. He takes care of me. But I want someone who understands more than me, or at least is willing to learn with me as we go on, so that I can make this into, this isn't about selfish. Well, wait a minute, it is. It's selfish because I want to get as healthy as I can, get rid of any meds that I'm taking, and just live healthy on whole food. There's a couple of products that I use, but basically it's all about real food and being healthy. And then I could lead my family. They will see how well it's working. They see how well it's working. And even my kids sometimes will ask Daddy for his sugar-free snacks because they know it tastes good, even though it's sugar-free. And that's where I'm going to stop right now. It's all about sugar-free. You really got to get rid of the sugar. Start with the exogenous sugars. If anything has sugar in it, you don't need it. Skip it. Get something else instead. And then you could start looking at the foods that you get that maybe you could do without, or make better substitutes, and start living a healthier, long-term, sustainable lifestyle. That's what keto means to me. That's what low-carb, high-fat means to me. It's keto-licious because all my food tastes freaking great. And we'll talk more about that as I talk about some of the food that I'm making. Wrapping up today, I got to put something in the slow cooker and go do my thing and hang out with the family. As I said, we got a snow day, and I got kids at home, and I got to go play daddy. So you all have a good day. Bye-bye.